Now, if you watch us here at 7 o'clock, you know we talk a lot about gerrymandering, and we do that for a good reason. Those maps determine a lot, like who represents you at the state and federal level, which then determines which laws pass and which ones fail. And it's the people who are already in power, the people in charge here, who get to decide and draw those maps for the future. Today, a federal judge made a key ruling in a lawsuit over North Carolina's state Senate map. This is it. This is the one we're talking about here. And you'll notice that big green district there on the right, on the eastern part of the state that kind of snakes around all the way from Warren County down to Emerald Isle. Yes, it looks a little crazy. I mean, you could admit that. The lawsuit does claim that it does more than look crazy, though, that the map actually weakens the voice of black voters in that region. The judge disagreed with that. But to find out why, I spoke to WRAL state government reporter Will Doran. All right, well, let's take a look at the map and get into some of the details. The two districts we're talking about, this tan district and the green one here, give me an idea of the complaint that ultimately led to the lawsuit about how this was drawn.
Yeah, well, as you can see, this green district, I mean, it snakes for hundreds of miles across the state. But the really main complaint was this area just northeast of Rocky Mount here, where it splits this area in half. This is known as the Black Belt of North Carolina. It's called that because it's home to several different majority black counties, and it splits that area in half. The complaint in this lawsuit was that state lawmakers not only could have, but should have kept all of those counties together so that they would have then been able to elect probably a Democrat who would have represented the wishes of the voters in that area, but by splitting them apart into two districts, both of those districts ended up representing Republicans.
And the concern there is that by splitting up that vote, you're then diluting the black vote in these areas. But the judge did not see it that way.
That's correct. Federal Judge James Deaver, he shot this complaint down. He said that there was no evidence on the record that lawmakers used racial data or were otherwise motivated by race when they were drawing this map. He also said that if you look at the evidence, there's no evidence that the white Republican senators who now represent this area have been discriminatory against their constituents. He said that that black belt portion of the state has actually received an above average amount of state funding for their local schools, and obviously education is more than half of the state budget, so that's a pretty substantial way of looking at how they're represented in the legislature.
There were some other stakes to this lawsuit, though, when it comes to the balance of power in the state.
Exactly. We're only talking about two districts here, but margins are so thin in the state Senate. Republicans actually only hold the supermajority right now by one seat. So if Democrats had been successful here in flipping one of these districts by changing the map, then they could have broken the supermajority and really given Governor Josh Stein's veto a whole lot more power in the state legislature that it currently holds. So clearly big stakes here. It could still be appealed. We're going to have to wait and see how this all rolls out ahead of 2026 or perhaps even the 2028 elections.
All right. Thank you, Will.
Thanks.
We should also say that the NC Capitol team here at WRAL asked the attorneys who brought the lawsuit against the maps if they do plan to appeal that federal judge's decision, but we have yet to hear back.